Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
The president has never given an illegal order. These people know what they are doing.
We've crossed a line in this country that cannot be ignored. We have sitting U.S. elected officials, including Senator Mark Kelly, now telling troops that they can refuse illegal orders. I mean, it sounds reasonable until you realize no legal order has been given. Everyone knows that. This isn't about the law. This is about planting seeds of doubt. It's a Trojan horse slipped into the minds of the one group of Americans who cannot afford to doubt for even 1 second, our military. I mean, you get our troops questioning their chain of command, questioning their commander-in-chief, questioning the oath that they swore to. And you're not just playing with politics, you're injecting anarchy into the ranks. And that goes against everything the American way stands for. Let me say this directly to anyone wearing the uniform. Do not listen to these politicians. If even one of you follows what they're attempting to do, your life's going to be the one that burns down, not theirs. You'll lose your rank, your career, your benefits, your retirement, everything you worked for. And not one single politician will stand beside you when the consequences hit. They will forget your name before the ink dries on your paperwork. I think we should be thankful that Mark Kelly isn't in uniform anymore. And we should thank God that he wasn't the aircraft commander of the Enola Gay in 1945, because a man this confused about duty and responsibility would have never had the conviction to help end a world war and save American lives. This very moment isn't exposing a people problem. It is exposing a leadership problem. Leaders who are so disconnected and so desperate and so entitled that they believe they're above consequences and they believe you won't hold them accountable. It's time to put people over parties. It's time to put the Constitution over convenience. And it's time to call this out for what it is.
And you ask whether what they did is a crime. I mean, you tell me what it is. You tell me what it is. I mean, what is the value? What is the reason for saying what they said, except for to encourage members of our military, to encourage members of our intelligence community to defy a direct command from their superior, and that is wrong.
Your resume as an attorney and your background and experience lends me to believe that you know the answer to the question you're asking me. You're number 2 at the DOJ. Does this need to be investigated? And what would the investigation be under?
Well, the investigation would absolutely be under what their intent was in saying this. And the question, we've all watched this a lot today, and the question you have to ask yourself is, what is their intent? What is the reason that they all went on a video and encouraged young men and women to defy court orders without even giving a hint of what's illegal, without even giving any suggestion of what law or what order they're being asked to violate? You cannot do that in this country, especially if you're a leader. And so what does the investigation look like? I think they should be held to account. I think that those congressmen should be required to answer questions and to answer questions about why they did what they did. And the American people deserve that, and so does President Trump.
Deputy Attorney General, let me put back on the screen, if I may, 18 U.S. Code 2383, and I will go over it one more time. We'll put it up on the screen. It says, whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Do you suspect these 6 lawmakers are guilty of this?
Look, I'm not convicting anybody tonight on this show, but I will tell you something, and that is this is a disgusting and inappropriate display of supposed leadership from the Democrat Party. These men and women should not have described themselves as former members of the military or former members of the intelligence community. They should have described themselves as Democrats who lost and Democrats who don't like the result of last November, because there is no laws being violated. There are no orders that are being given that are unconstitutional or illegal. And the fact that these folks came out and encouraged our young men and women who are all, many of them armed, to defy court orders is something that we have to take a very close look at, and I promise you, Sean, that we will.
And can I interpret that, sir, to mean that there's an investigation underway?
Look, we don't, Sean, we don't talk about investigations, but
you got to give me A+ for trying, Todd. I'm trying, but I understand you can't. If
want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
And before we get into the main part on today's show and all the outrage and the disgracefulness, Trump just posted this, the American dream. And I know some of y'all might say, oh, this and that, soundbite, this and that, but hey, man, we got to look at the bright side of things. You know what we're fighting for? We know we just want a better life for everybody. Don't care what side of politics you're on, left, right, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. Wishing the best in everybody's life, man. We know the mess this man was inherited, this administration, from the previous administration, of what took place in the last 4 years. We know all this and that, the factors and how this is all played out. How it is down there in Washington, an absolute sewer, not a swamp, In the world of politics in general, man, And people call the American dream the American scam, the corrupt scam matrix. And they say can't even Trump save it. They said probably Trump can't even save the mess that we're in, huh? But there has been a lot of wins with this administration, and some of the wins people just can't deny, Agree to disagree. A lot of people love this, some people hate this, and hey, man. Here we are in 2025, man, and I hope y'all are, just everybody that's tuned in right now, that you are blessed, well, and healthy, and that, you're having a great upcoming weekend, getting ready for Thanksgiving, that y'all eat good, enjoy loved ones, family members, spend time, man, that we can throw this to the side, throw politics aside, and just come together and unite, man, In my opinion, I know for some of y'all it's not gonna be that way, but hey, man. But hey, that's what I'm wishing for, man. I'm wishing for a better life for everybody, man. That we continue to spread the love, the good energy, and the positivity, man. In this fast time travel that we live in. But so much back and forth, so much hatred, violence, and especially from the left. The Trump derangement syndrome, the derangement syndrome we have in this country, the backstabbing, the sabotaging. People just, they just can't understand that someone won an election, Some just think that, it's just common sense. 90-10 issues are just common sense, But we must block the man, sabotage the man, any chance we get, We must make him out to be the big bad orange man. We must hate the man. Remember, unconstitutional, unpresidential, democracy's under attack, threat to democracy, Hey, he's the big bad orange man, they say, huh? But Trump did post this in the American dream. Let's check this out.
The American dream isn't a headline. It's not a handout or a hashtag. It's a porch light left on, a flag out front. It's what you earn through hard work and what you're free to build when your leaders put you first. I've never forgotten that. From day one, I fought for the American worker. To protect our homes, our families, we built a strong economy. So every American could plant roots, not just the privileged few, the Sunday dinners, the backyard ball games, the pride of owning a piece of this incredible nation. That's what we're fighting to protect. That's the spirit we're bringing back. And behind it all, you've got great partners. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Freddie Mac.
Helping families turn hard work into home ownership. Helping Americans turn dreams into something lasting, something truly their own. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, keepers of the American dream.
Yes, indeed, man. We're wishing the best in everybody's life. You know, it's just really wild to see how this is all played out, man. How one man has, you know, brought so much out of people, you know. I tell you. Now he has broke an entire party, you know. Look at this.
Country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean.
Everybody used to love this man before he came down that escalator.
So to every parent who dreams for their child, dreams for their future, I will fight for you. America strong again.
Well, boy, oh boy. What a time to be alive. You know? What a time to be alive. And Trump and Mamdani still breaking the internet right now. There's reports coming in that Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress. We're going to get into that later. A lot going on, man. So we got that breaking news. I don't know if that's been confirmed, so I'm not going to confirm it that she has resigned. But it says, she said that I will be resigning from office my last day, January 5th of 2026. It comes days after her feud with President Trump ramped up. And we know that back and forth, you know, and the whole Epstein thing. But we're going to see how this all plays out, man. You know, but we're getting back into these Democrats once again that just, you know, they just can't get it right, man. They just can't get it right.
This morning, President Donald Trump threatened to have me arrested and executed simply for reminding our service members of their oaths to follow the Constitution and to defend the rule of law.
Executed. Y'all are just so sad and pathetic, man.
I've taken many oaths throughout my life. As a combat veteran, a paratrooper, an Army Ranger, and now as a member of Congress. That is a lifetime oath for me. I will never stop defending it and upholding that sacred obligation. It's very telling that President Trump and those around him think it's criminal simply for asking people to follow the law. This moment requires moral clarity. Every American, regardless of your background, should unite and reject his calls for political violence. This is a moment that requires leadership. I intend to uphold my obligation, my oath, and to lead. Don't give up the ship.
Oh boy, we're doing a little deep dive on this with Dr. Steve, my brother, man. Let's see what's going on.
If you thought the Jeffrey Epstein boomerang on the Democrats was bad, wait until you see this. These Democrats thought they had a brilliant strategy in filming an anti-Trump video addressed to our military until it exploded in their faces. And now they're scrambling. They're backpedaling. They're desperately trying to explain away what millions of Americans just watched them do. But the damage, it's already been done. And I'm going to show you exactly why it's too late. There's no walking this disaster back. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. today. So we're getting an early start to the weekend, as it were. But my, oh my, did the Democrats step in it yet again. So I'm sure you all know by now that 6 Democrat lawmakers, 6 pathetic, vile, what many are calling seditious Democrat lawmakers, released a video this week addressing active duty military personnel and intelligence community members, and even fellow Democrats are claiming that this reached a whole new low.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow.
I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
Against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up the shit.
You just heard, I mean, each one of the 6 Democrats said the same thing. The commander-in-chief is out of control.
I know how they read off the same script. Same script like I be telling y'all.
He's pitting you against American citizens to enforce his authoritarian fantasies. You, the members of the military, you can refuse illegal orders. You, as members of the military, must refuse illegal orders. You have an obligation to refuse illegal orders. The threats to our Constitution have never been greater, and you have every right, indeed, it is your duty to stand against those threats. It was, frankly, a shocking Can you imagine had President Trump done something like that when AutoPen was in office?
Man.
It was a shocking new low for the Democrat Party that never fails to find new ways of crossing new Rubicons. But to make it even worse, here's what they conveniently, of course, left out. They didn't specify a single order that was illegal. Not one. They came out and openly suggested that members of the military should defy their commander-in-chief, President Trump, based on literally nothing. Left-wing talking points, platitudes, cliches, but not a single explicit example of an illegal order. Now, of course, President Trump saw the video and responded with characteristic force on Truth Social. Quote, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up." And then he posted a follow-up that was even more devastating. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. An example must be set. So this is sedition. This is treason. This is insurrection. And then came the post that sent Democrats into an absolute panic. Seditious behavior punishable by death. Now, of course, right on cue, the Democrats and their mouthpieces and the legacy media all freaked out, not at the seditious behavior of these lawmakers. No, of course not. Never. Democrats are never blamed. They're always considered innocent until proven guilty. No, the real horror in all of this is how President Trump just responded. I can't believe it. How dare he? Oh, I can't believe it now. Now all these 6 Democrats are the victims. That's what the Democrats always play. They're always
the
victims. Yeah, I'm sorry. And you could already hear Abby Phillip, right, at CNN. Now, Scott, it was really, what they said wasn't any big deal, was it, Scott? Right? That's her in her patronizing tone. But Scott, it's really not that bad what they said, is it? Is it really, Scott? I mean, they didn't really say what everyone in America heard, did they, Scott? So, of course, the legacy media, who, remember, nobody's watching, by the way, anymore. Of course, they all began weeping, gnashing their teeth in front of their dwindling audience. And I gotta say, it was all to no avail. Kudos to them. Republicans, by and large, to their credit, did not back down. Congresswoman Nancy Mace did not mince words. President Trump is the duly elected commander-in-chief. This ongoing, seditious conspiracy to undermine his authority is an act of war against the Constitution itself. They should all be investigated and charged for violations of U.S. Code 18, Section 2387. Every tool of justice should be on the table. Now, the U.S. Code Nancy Mace is referring to there is entitled Activities Affecting Armed Forces Generally, Offenses, Punishment. So the U.S. Code, if you don't know, the U.S. Code is basically a systematic compilation of all the federal laws of the land, right? It organizes laws by subject matter into 54 titles, and it's updated with new additions every 6 years. So whenever you hear someone refer to U.S. Code such and such, that's what they're referring to. And U.S. Code 18 deals with, as Section 2387, deals with an anti-military insubordination, mutiny, or obstruction. So a violation occurs when any person with intent to interfere with, impair, or influence the loyalty, morale, or discipline of U.S. Armed Forces advises, urges, or otherwise causes or attempts to cause any member of the military to refuse, neglect, or abandon service, to fail in their duty, or to obstruct lawful performance of service, and uses speech, writings, or any other means to accomplish this. I mean, that's a pretty hardcore code. So bottom line, it is at best a federal crime or at worst treasonous to publicly urge and advise members of the military to disobey their superiors, particularly the commander-in-chief, and refuse to follow orders.
Somebody walked out with their hands behind their back. Made an example out of.
With a prison sentence up to 10 years. It's not a trivial offense by any stretch of the imagination, and that's what Nancy Mace is calling for. Nancy Mace was hardly alone. Senator Marsha Blackburn, she called it inconceivable that elected officials would tell uniformed military members who've taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution that they don't have to execute their mission. Senator Lindsey Graham, he called the Democrats' video, quote, despicable. But the backlash to that video wasn't just coming from Republicans and Trump supporters. It also came from some rather, shall we say, unexpected places. This is going to absolutely blow you away. But if there is a lesson for all of us in this, it's that the radical left and the deep...
It was wrong to put the duty to check a president on the troops. It's on you. You have a constitutional duty.
Oh, Chris.
What an ugly irony that it's members of Congress asking this. It should be citizens who might be asking that. You were supposed to check. It's why you raised your right hand. But what is it about now? They're looking for a fight. Why? Because you want them to. Because you want a muscular response to Trump. You want him to stop walking all over you. You want him to stop getting away with everything and him calling the game all the time and controlling everything. You want a muscular response. That's why you want Newsom on Twitter, you know, acting like fools. We're all acting like fools. Why? Because I guess we don't know any better anymore.
Oh boy.
But I know we're playing with fire, and I know worse is to come on this course. I don't like it. I don't want it. I will leave my family. I will enter unsafe conditions to cover it. But if we don't reset and fast, we are asking for big trouble, okay?
Yeah, so that's none other than Chris Cuomo, son of the Democrat icon Mario Cuomo, dropping some truth bombs there. Was what the Democrats did in that video wrong? Yes. Wrong all day long. Again, you need to think about that. Chris Cuomo, right, who spent years criticizing Trump on CNN, is now telling Democrats they have gone too far. So it wasn't just Republicans and MAGA calling out that.
Democrats are done. They've been too far. Too far gone, too far shot. It's done. It's shot. Motor transmission shot. It's done.
Video. It was Democrats. It was independents. It was a massive backlash. And now, true to form, these Democrats, these very same brave Democrats standing up to authoritarianism, yeah, now they're backing down. They're all walking it all back. I mean, here's the ultra-repulsive Representative Jason Crow eating crow on CNN.
So are you saying that there was not necessarily any particular precipitating event? There is no specific thing out there that made you decide now is the right time?
That's right. To be clear, we are not calling on folks right now to disobey any type of unlawful order. Right? There is very real and deep concern about what this president has threatened to do over and over again. There are 3 more years left of this administration. If we are not talking about this and having a conversation about it and demystifying this conversation, then we are not fulfilling our duty. We are reminding people that have taken the oath what that oath requires of them to do.
So now, according to this borderline illiterate, after all the uproar that video he participated in caused, now he says, well, we weren't telling U.S. military personnel to disobey anything, quote, right now. We never said to them, disobey now. So that's what they think is their slick willy way out of this. We never said to do this now. We just want to have a conversation. We just want to have a conversation. We want to demystify the options that are available to our troops. But we never said when they should be doing it. I mean, seriously, if there ever were a forked tongue party, if there were ever a political party that played fast and loose with linguistic truth, it's the Democrats. They just exude a satanic, serpentine sentiment in literally everything they do. Vile doesn't even begin to describe it. Not to be outdone, Representative Chrissy Houlihan filmed a follow-up video clarifying her comments to help quell the uproar. The refrain in all of this, besides framing themselves as the victims, the refrain that we're hearing from every one of these feckless Democrats is that the video was literally a PSA. I kid you not. They are recasting the video as a public service announcement to simply remind our servicemen and women of their oath. Here's what you swore allegiance to, and here's what you didn't swear allegiance to, and because you're too dumb to know the difference, we want to film a PSA just to remind you of that. But Fox News' Martha McCallum, she wasn't having any of it. She was here's Martha confronting again that ultra repulsive representative eating crow.
You're not talking about actual policy. You're not talking about things that are members of our service members who we revere and respect are actually being asked to do. So when you see this video on all over the place, when you see this video on social media, I think a lot of people scratch their heads and they say, what exactly? States carrying drugs?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Martha, here's a novel idea. How about we actually prevent things from happening before they become a problem?
I think that's what they're trying to do.
What you're saying is we have to wait until there's a problem to respond to that problem.
No, I'm not.
Right? As a military officer, what I think is important is we train people, we give them information, we commander in the military. That's what I'm doing now. As we are standing by our troops, we are reminding them of their obligation.
Order from the commander in chief that we are asking our military to carry out, are you objecting to? This is very, very vague. And it was so vague in this video. I don't think people could figure out what you guys were all talking about, honestly.
Martha, Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible...
She noticed this dude a clown, man. I wouldn't even waste time.
Again, we're getting nowhere because you're not talking about...
Nowhere. She's right. We're not getting anywhere with y'all. We're not, especially with you Democrats. Nowhere. Told you, transmission shot, motor shot.
I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation because then it'll be too late.
Yep, nothing. The forked tongue slithers from his lips again. He's got nothing. He is all lies. Martha asked specifically, what illegal orders are you talking about? And of course, this scum did nothing more than evade and elude and project. So
as
let's
they always
be clear
do.
about what...
As they always do, man. You know, I told y'all. We know what we're up against, man. You know? We know Trump has broke the Democratic Party. Whether you like to hear that or not. You know, I'm telling you, long ago from now, even in 2040, we still gonna be hearing about Trump. I tell you, man. But let me know what y'all think, man. He shut to my brother, Dr. Steve. Again, y'all know what I say. Somebody ought to be walked out with their hands behind their back.